I just heard myself sounding like a horse.
All right, now, okay. So I should be able to just take this off and join it. Okay, you're loud, so I turn you down.
Don't turn me down.
In my ears.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
But why can't I hear you in my ears?
I'm not talking.
Oh, no, I don't hear you at all, actually.
Testing.
I don't hear you. Like, I hear myself.
I turned it down.
But I don't hear you.
Testing.
There you go. Yeah, I hear you now.
We are live.
Hey, guys. We're back home.
What is up, everybody?
We're back home. Oops. We were out of town. And I have a problem.
Last week we were out of I almost forgot that fast.
I have a problem with telling people when I'm out of town. Because I grew up in close to the hood. You know, I just grew up where, people, you'll tell people when you're out of town, okay, I say, this is really loud. What just happened?
Here, it's yours. Is that better?
Hello? Okay, I guess. It sounds like there's
echo? No, there's no echo.
Huh. But yeah, so it didn't sound like this before. Anyway.
Okay, hang on.
It's
Keep talking.
Yeah, it sounds like I can hear
talk to the people.
Oh.
Talk to the people.
So, when I grew up, y'all, where we weren't supposed to tell people when we were out of town. Because when you told people you were out of town, that was like a, come get my stuff. Oh, that's so much better. Yes. What did you do?
Huh?
What did you do?
No, but that shouldn't work.
Okay, now I can't hear you. Look,
testing.
Yeah, I can't hear you, but it made this.
Testing.
That's so much better right there.
Okay, testing. Okay.
Oh, that's so much better. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
What did you do? Just so I know.
We'll do that
and
in the
teach
pre-production.
other people who are interested.
We have to do that in the pre-production meeting.
Okay.
So
you're gonna teach me?
We're gonna just
once we fumble and bumble, we're gonna fumble and bumble, and then we're gonna teach people how to do this stuff. Yeah.
No. Everybody has to. Well, I'll send you what I bought that helped us, but I'm not gonna. It's you need to get a coach. Get a coach. Yeah. I think the coach will help you better.
Check in.
Yeah, we're checking in.
I'm kind of hype and tired at the same time. How you doing, babe?
I'm good. My knee is not happy, but I'm glad we woke up. I did my yoga this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling good, but my knee is still not happy. And
stop you.
I don't know if I should stop or do something else. I don't want to stop. I don't like stopping. I've been really consistent, and I don't want to stop working out. But I want to figure out what to do instead of doing where my knee is killing me. So I'm trying to figure that out.
You might need to go see the chiropractor.
I do have an appointment tomorrow. 9 o'clock.
Yes. With our food?
Uh-huh.
You made an appointment for yourself? You didn't think of...
I didn't make an appointment for you, no, because I don't know your schedule.
No, I'm not gonna give you a hard time. I like to see your face when you feel like a little trapped. For a second, you look like, oh crap, I didn't.
No, but then when I thought about it, I'm like,
I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you to make an appointment for me. But usually, when I make an appointment for myself,
you don't make my appointments. The one you made one. Sometimes when we used to go together, but we don't go together anymore.
Are you saying that I've only made one of your appointments? Whatever makes you
I don't remember.
Feel good on the inside. We'll stick with that.
Guys, and we always going to be at fault because we never remember and they remember all.
I remember everything.
And that's
it's all good, babe.
Touche, you win. You win that battle.
I win always. It's all good, baby. But look, so is that it? Knee?
Yeah, my knee
bothering you.
And it's y'all know when you get older, you just kind of it is what it is. And it's all about making adjustments though. So I didn't wear the sleeve like I should have. I had the knee sleeve. I should have put the knee sleeve on. When I was walking, I'm not running. At least I'm not running, and the bike is helping. But I'm gonna decide to put the sleeve work out with the sleeve this week. Take it easy. I'm gonna get on the rower because it's less pressure on the knees.
Good stuff.
Maybe the bike will help. Continue to do the more yoga. I try to do the power yoga. Shout out to Peloton. They have a powerful, awesome community. And we spent a lot of money. So I am leaning in. We spent a lot of money on our gym downstairs. So I am trying to be consistent and take advantage of the investment that we made in ourselves.
Amen.
So, but yeah, other than that, feeling good. Feeling good. Proud of myself. I've been pretty consistent about getting up 5:36-ish every day, doing my workout, doing my devotion, eating breakfast from home. So that's been really helpful for me. I feel pretty good about myself. I'm doing that.
Yeah.
What about you? What's going on?
Tax season's over.
Is it officially over? Is it done?
Well, I mean, it's over enough that the biggest deadlines are gone. Now it's just like state deadlines, and all state deadlines are not with the IRS deadline. So
okay.
Yeah, so I can. I can get back to myself.
Well, that's another thing we would need to talk about when you're in your busy season. How do you still prioritize you? I think that's important for those that are watching.
I agree.
We can all be busy.
Well, what did I say to you half the time when I got to the thick of it of being busy? What did I say to you when we were away? What did I say to you?
I can't, please.
Come on, baby. You know what I said. I said, I am client what? For you.
Oh, client number one.
0. I always say client 0, guys. Oh my God. I didn't think that I was, but I realized that I am I'll say client 0 for, boundaries and, learning how to say no. And if no other time proved that to me, this year, this year proved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think it's so easy to fall into the trap of, okay, I have this big project, then not that I don't matter as much, but that we can be okay with neglecting important things for ourselves. But then we realize when we come back to ourselves, like, man, that wasn't worth it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was on a good steady run with everything, taking care of myself, and then last 3 weeks, 5 weeks, have been rough, to say the least. Yeah, and the only reason I'm not looking for it, guys, is I am trying to do 2 things at one time, which I'm really terrible at, and I was trying to post our
I didn't post
page
it on
right
so
now.
Just tag me in mine.
If I can do myself first, then yes.
Okay. But tonight's topic, we talked about this last week, and we wanted to pick back up on it. We talked about last week on sticks and stones, do break bones, and how impactful words can be. Man, I think it was a really good conversation last week. So if you didn't get a chance to listen, go back and listen last week to last week's topic. But we ended talking about bullying and how people, it's really significant. And I wanted to talk about, if we care to share,
oh my,
growing up,
oh my,
what experience do you remember the most as far as being bullied, or and how you felt about it, and if you were able to work through it? What did that look like?
Oh man!
If you want to start, I can start.
Yeah, you started, but I have many, not many. I have a couple of key.
We gotta let's grab one.
Oh, grab one.
Yeah, grab one, because this article, and I'm gonna post this. In fact, post this article too as a comment.
Absolutely. That's the one that you sent me?
Yeah, that's the one, because this is what we're gonna be talking about tonight, which was
talk about you, babe.
Yeah. So for me, bullying, I'll never forget. It was when I was in 5th grade, and my family, we went to a private school. Both my sister and I went to a private school, and a private Christian school. And I started in third grade when I was there. And, and it's one of those schools where if you don't start at a certain time, everybody else knows each other, but you don't.
Did you feel that way?
Yeah, it was significant.
Wow.
So I didn't know anybody from there.
Interesting.
And so we started going there, and
it was
I didn't want to.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. I don't think it matters.
I didn't know.
Whatever.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, don't you?
No, I thought that most of the people who listen to this know us. Like,
well, I don't want it to be. Honestly, I think I believe in.
So please forgive me.
No, it's okay. But even though I had a bad experience, I still believe in Christian. And I think bullying is universal. I don't care where you go.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think because mine was in 5th grade too. So in a public school. So,
yeah, it was a private school, and it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was one instance that I remember, but it was just the overall perspective that I had. I was a very emotional kid, and I didn't have a ton of friends. I remember distinctly that my friends were the quote unquote outcast, I guess you would consider, of the class. I'll be honest, that's who we were. And I remember because I didn't have most of the kids could afford fancy clothes and shoes, and there was no I wish there was for me a dress code where you have to wear a uniform, etc. I wish that honestly. But I'm glad for the experience.
There was no dress code back then. There was no uniform.
So we all had everybody got to wear whatever they wanted.
Okay.
And I couldn't afford. We could afford to get me into school.
Right.
But I couldn't afford the fancy shoes. And I remember it was Levi's back then. It was cool Levi's and any kind of popular shoe. Nike, Reebok was popular back then. Couldn't afford any of that stuff. And I remember being picked on about. Then my clothes didn't really fit. I was a lanky kid. My clothes didn't fit. I had what they call back in the day high waters. And then I was dark skinned. And, I didn't grow up with everybody else.
I missed it out.
Yeah.
Chocolate skin. But you like it now. But anyway, go on.
Right. So I gave in 5th grade. Nobody was thinking about that. But I remember, I was an emotional kid. I remember, coming home and just being really sad, crying, just feeling like I didn't fit. But it was, and I was glad for the friends that I did have. I remember it was 2 girls. I remember their names. That's how significant it was. There was Shirley and Regina. If y'all hear it, shout out to y'all. Appreciated y'all friendship back in the day. I remember we used to, I didn't play sports or anything during recess back in the day when they had recess, and I remember those 2. We were just together, and I remember it was a white girl and a black girl that was there, and we were friends, and so I remember, only thing that really changed it is when I got to junior high and I started playing basketball. Basketball helped me kind of come out of my shell and to kind of fit in, to make friends. And then
it wasn't about what you were wearing.
Oh yeah,
because what you wear change?
No, I didn't know. I still couldn't afford it. I mean, I started working though, and I remember being able to, buy like my first set. I had some Nike Air Pegasus. That's another story.
Are those the ones that?
Yeah, and I'll never forget. I was so impressed. I finally earned. I was working. Where was I working? Either way, I was working. I got my first check. And I was so excited. I said, I'm getting me some shoes. I'm going to Prince George's Plaza Mall to go. No, Wheaton.
How old were you?
Junior high. So I was in 8th grade.
You went by yourself?
I went to the mall. All I knew was that I could finally afford some nice shoes.
Did you go by yourself?
I went by myself. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have easily had my cousins come with me, but I didn't. And I went and I bought some Nike Air Pegasus. I'll never forget. They were black. They were purple. They were awesome, man. Nike Air. It was, man. And I remember coming home, bright yellow, orange Nike bag, walking down the street, walking from the subway station, walking home, right from Tacoma Station. I live right there. And I mean, it's not really. I guess it was bullying too. I guess so. And so the guys were like, "Hey, let me see your shoes." And I was like, yeah, they not, I got some shoes. In my spirit, I knew there was something wrong. And they kind of knew I was
that you were green.
I was green. I didn't know enough to like go another way because I was walking from the park from Tacoma Rec, and I remember walking that way, and I should have just walked up another block and crossed over because it was less likely to run into people, and it's busier. And so,
but you were walking down the street like this.
Yeah, I was pumped. I was proud of myself because I earned it. I earned my kicks, my Air Pegasus, and one of the guys, for some reason, had compassion. Man, leave the guy alone, man. Let him go home with his shoes.
That's the Lord.
It was one guy. I don't know what he looked like, but I remember he was like, man, leave little man alone. Because they were older.
How many of them were
It was
there?
like 3 of them.
Oh, thank
and so
you,
I could have easily got beaten up. They were taking my shoes, and that would have been it. And
then it would have hurt your heart. And could you imagine a hardened Ase? I don't want to see a hardened Ase.
No,
things like that change.
No, you're right.
Are.
Yeah, especially when they happen early on.
Yeah.
So, but that was my experience with bullying. That was a short synopsis of it, but it was from time to time, and people would make fun, but I remember being very emotional about it in junior high. No, I don't remember talking to my parents about it.
I was about to ask you that. Who did you tell?
I didn't talk to anybody about it. And we need to go. We need to go because
what?
No, we gotta go because I'm saying we gotta. I'm talking too long. Go ahead, share your experience. No, because remember we said we didn't want to spend.
I get it, but babe, it was a good story.
Yeah.
So you want to know mine?
Yeah. And then we'll get into this article. If this might be a part 1 and 2, because this is a great
one.
article.
No, I told one last week, so I'll tell a different one.
Okay.
I'll tell a different one.
Okay.
I remember. So maybe by you telling that story, I think that we are kindred spirits. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were being bullied at the same time at different schools. I was bullied in 5th grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, somewhere around third, 4th. I don't want to say her name, but I hated her. Oh my gosh. But she was so much bigger than everybody. It's like, why are you here? Like, are you even in the right grade? She was in the right grade, but she was just a big bully, literally and figuratively. And people would like try to take my food. My mom, my parent, so I was on a different spectrum. Ase was on the spectrum of not having enough clothes. I was on the spectrum of having too many. So, like they didn't have anything to talk about. So the only thing they would talk about was how many of them sweatsuits you got, red, yellow. Like my parents never got me. They never got me designer anything, but everything I wore was always quality. So I had, when it was cool for kids to have the sweatsuits, not the shimmy ones, but the cloth, the cotton
champion ones.
But kind of like it wasn't brand name.
Oh.
It was like a you know how you have the sweatsuit with the hoodie and the drawstring, and it's not the swish a sweatsuit. Just a regular cotton.
Details don't matter.
I had a yellow, I had a black, I had a purple, I had all the so my family, we are known. If you find something we like, we get all the colors. Yes. We go big shopping once or twice a year, and that's it. That's we got that from my grandma and granddad. That's what they were like. They always went big shopping, Yeah. And you got clothes forever until you grow out of them. Then So they were like, well, what color she gonna wear today? Yellow. What color she gonna do? And I was like, and I didn't have the presence of mind to know, you're picking on me because you ain't got nothing. Like, no kid has enough. No. So you were getting picked on because you didn't have enough. I was getting picked on because I had too much, but not the name brand stuff, right? But that's not the bullying one I wanted to tell you. What I wanted to tell you is I was in junior high school. It's really quick story. Junior high school, I think it was my first week of school. I walked down the hall. Upperclassmen walked down the hall at the same time that I did. Remember, this is my first week of school, y'all. I'll say the school, Nicholas Lorne. Upperclassman comes down the hall. I must have bumped his shoulder at the same time. He came back and he rammed me against the
locker.
The locker and said, "If you ever touch me again, I'll kill you." Let me say that again. He said, "If you ever touch me again, I'll kill you." I was like, "What? Oh my gosh! What did he do in here?" That's it.
That's pretty intense. Yeah.
I didn't know his name. I just know I was fearful that 7th grade year. I was terrified. In 8th grade, I knew he was gone.
Yeah.
How it comes back around circle when I was like 24. I started going somewhere to get my hair done with my coworker. That coworker takes me to a place to get my hair done by this Jamaican lady. The Jamaican lady was his aunt. Oh, he comes in the door. I'm 24. I'm like, he's like, "Oh, you went to school with me?" I said, "Yeah, I know you because I was like, you rammed me against the wall when I was in 7th grade, 12 years old, and told me if I ever bumped you again, you'd kill me." And he's like, "I'm so sorry. I was awful." He said, "I was awful."
He admitted it.
And his aunt said, "You did what?"
Then the truth tumbled out, and now he got to deal with it. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah. Okay.
Whew. So, yeah, it was good to see him and see that he had changed and he was different.
Yeah.
But thank God that didn't, it could have put me, I was already quiet. It could have put me more into my hole. And I always wonder, are introverts just introverted, or are some introverts introverted due to nurture? Like it's safe to be quiet. Quiet gives me safety. Yeah. Because that was me. Quiet gave me safety. It wasn't until I got to high school. My shout out to Mrs. Foster. May she rest in peace. She made me sing. And when she made me sing, it gave me a voice.
Okay. Wow. Now that's really good. So I think all of us, and if you watch this or comment and say, yes, I was bullied. If you care to share your experience with bullying, I just thought of another one when I was in high school. But I'm going to leave that alone. But if you care to share, you know what? I was bullied because I think most of people have had at least one experience. And I thought it was only in childhood that most people have experiences with bullying. But tonight I wanted to talk about an article I found on healthline.com.
And this might be a two-parter.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a two-parter.
Because I don't think people talk about this side.
This is significant. How to identify and manage workplace bullying. Because I thought it was helpful, even though we touched on it last week. We talked about sticks and stones. This is impactful because workplace bullying can be just as hurtful and detrimental to individuals' mental and emotional health as it did back then when we were in junior high. And
because words do have pain. They have the ability to help. Not help, but we can actually feel physical pain. Yeah. Due to mental pain.
Yes, it's very significant, and I think the challenge is, and we're going to talk about it, is that we can't control what happens on the outside, but we can control our response to it. So we're going to talk about that. But what is workplace bullying? So I'm going to read it here. It says, workplace bullying is harmful, targeted behavior that happens at work. It might be spiteful, offensive, mocking, or intimidating. It forms a pattern, and it tends to be directed at one person or a few people. Right? And so it can be, it's talking about practical jokes, purposely. Now this is harsh, and this hurts me when I hear it. Targeted, being purposely misled about work duties, like incorrect deadlines or unclear directions. They're classifying that as bullying.
And say that again.
Being purposely misled about work duties, like incorrect deadlines or unclear directions. And I said, wow, why would someone do that?
Well, talk about the others and then we can talk about why.
You got threats, humiliation, and other verbal abuse. Continue. And this could be boss, coworker. A lot of these are boss, coworker. Continued denial of requests for time off without an appropriate or valid reason. Man, this is excessive performance monitoring, overly harsh or unjust criticism. So this is what happens to a lot of people at work. And I never thought that this could be happening, but it does. And I would never classify it as bullying, but I see now that it can be. And a lot of people are suffering emotional and mental anguish because of workplace bullying, whether it comes from a boss or other coworkers. And then it even goes into, criticism meant to intimidate, humiliate, or single out without reason would be considered bullying. And it says, this is powerful right here. According to the Workplace Bullying Institute, more than 60 million working people in the United States are affected by bullying. 60 million people.
That's crazy.
And when I think about this, people go every day because they feel compelled and or forced. I have to earn a check for my family. I got to be able to pay my bills. Mm-hmm. So I have to be willing to endure and deal with this. To me, it's doubly impactful and doubly negative. It said of course, it's, since bullying is often verbal and psychological in nature, it may not always be visible to others. So that's what we're talking about. Where's the fire?
And right? The thing about some bullying is so covert sometimes. So sometimes it's covert, but sometimes I think others don't see it because they don't want to see it.
See, then it talks about institutional.
That's what I mean. Yeah. If I see it, then that means I have to deal with it, or I have to be part of the solution.
And they keep saying, they even say, hey, you should report something. And where I work, they make us take training videos, and every year we have to do the same thing. We got to take a video, take a quiz, etc. That we've viewed the policies, and but it's like, I don't know. I feel like, excuse me. I don't know if it's justifiable or not justifiable. If it's part of the culture to normalize speaking out and addressing and bringing to the light potential bullying situations.
It depends on the culture of the firm. It has to be a no tolerance situation. Where it's cool to be kind.
Right.
Like, it has to come from the top. If it doesn't come from the top, if it's something that's just like numbers driven, but see, some bullying is different. Like,
what you mean? I'm curious.
The bullying that I didn't like where I worked before is I didn't like the make me bond bully. Meaning, you didn't come out with us tonight. It has nothing to do with the job, y'all. It's after 5. I done gave y'all 9 to 5 of my hour. I've been giving you 8 hours.
Yeah.
I might have given you 9, 10 hours. But you people who have no family, I'm sorry, or you don't want to be around your family. Y'all going out to drink, and I'm not talking about there's nothing wrong with the drinking, but I mean every night, or y'all go out all the time. Like, go home. And so I got to the point of, my rebel. My rebel comes out, and it's like, you can't make me bond. Don't make me bond. And so, it might not feel like bullying, but when it's, we had a great time, but of course you weren't there. Like, but this has nothing to do with my job.
Right, you doing what you are.
This has not
getting paid for.
0 to do with my job.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Okay. Well, question.
And someone would be like, "Oh, but it'd be so nice for us to be together." But the thing about it is that we have to consider in firms as the people who are leading people is this is a job, y'all. This is not a family.
I was about to ask that. Is that a form of bullying?
I feel like sometimes
kind of drag people into this family atmosphere, quote unquote.
And I think that it's unsafe. And the reason why I think it's unsafe is when you put people in a space that this is family. But this is a job. The issue I have with that is, okay, what happens when you have to lay off your family? See, then you have to be now you have to be, up and down square.
Right.
Oh, well, due to
based on the numbers,
no, we
et
family. We family. We don't lay off family. So you can't have it both ways. That's the problem. That's the reason why I have a problem.
I would classify it as they might not talk about it, but I think
I hope I didn't catch COVID out there.
Don't be bringing COVID. Yeah, drink some water. But I think I don't love it. And I understand it because more times than not, individuals at work, we spend more time at work with our coworkers than with our families.
And some of us like our coworkers more than we like our family.
But I think that's a bigger issue that shouldn't scratch that itch. Even though it's important to like where you work and like the people you work with, and to be able to get along and to be able to, be cordial to one another. But I think it's too much. It's too much pressure to try to assume individuals want or need that from work.
Yes.
Yeah. So other types of bullying. And by the way, this is going to be part 2. This is because this is significant. Bullying behaviors. And I'm trying to see where we're going to end here because we need to really dive deep into this.
Talk about the types, and let's end there, and then we can come back and let's see, what do they say? We can come back next time and talk about early warning signs.
Because we want to equip you all, and we want to
how to handle it, how to deal with it.
It's not about it again. We can't control what happens more times than not, but we can control our response to it and what we're going to do moving forward. That is the power that we have. So that's what we want to talk about. But we're going to bring where the smoke might be. We got to get to the fire. And I think a lot of these companies have.
Well, why don't we talk about the types, and then we'll talk about, let's end on the smoke and fire.
Okay. Okay. Bullying behaviors might be verbal. This can include mockery, humiliation, jokes. Some of these jokes at work can be, gossip. Or other spoken abuse.
How is this different than the other group that you were talking about? What were those?
No, just example. They were just giving examples earlier.
Types of
bullying. Now it gets into a little bit more
like
formalized.
grouping them.
Okay. Intimidating is the next one.
So verbal.
Verbal is a bullying behavior. Might be verbal. It might be intimidating, where it includes threats, social exclusion.
Yeah, so it's like they got together and you didn't know, and then it's like, we had a good time. Why weren't you there? I wasn't invited.
Right, and spying and other invasions of privacy.
That's related to work performance, though.
It said, it's just saying bullying. Yes, that can happen at work.
Oh, the intimidation. Okay.
Yeah.
You're still on that part. Okay. Yeah, what about related to work performance? Read that.
Well, this is to me the real shameful part is when examples of wrongful blame.
Oh, that's not cool.
Work sabotage or interference.
Yeah, but see, that sounds like you got a whole lot of time on your hands
to be meddling with somebody else.
Yes.
Well,
you got too much time.
This is significant.
Who has all that time at work when you're supposed to be doing your job?
Doing your job, yeah.
Yeah, that's like a double job. If anybody is doing that at work, you need to find another job because that's a double job.
Well, hold on.
Trying to retaliate.
We're going to talk about it from the bully's perspective, and then from the bully
and bullier, bully.
Yes.
Bully.
From both perspectives. You still need the water? Okay.
COVID. No, I'm not playing with COVID.
No, please don't. I don't want it.
Go ahead.
This is, and it talks about stealing or taking credit for ideas. When that's a form of bullying.
So those things happen when, let's say, there's 2 to 3 people that are up for the same promotion. Like we're all on the same level. That's when you start seeing work related, performance related sabotage and things of that sort.
But who would consider that? I would never put this together. That's why I appreciate this article bringing it together. Then retaliatory. In some cases, talking about the bullying can lead to accusations of lying, further exclusion, refuse promotions, and other retaliation. So when you speak up,
that's
and they usually know who it is, now you get you already dealt with the initial bullying.
Get dinged.
Now it's even it gets more spread out,
and you get things like
more intense.
Well, we like team players.
Yeah, Brittany said victim blaming.
And team players sometimes is code for keep your mouth shut.
See that language?
No, they don't. Nobody will ever tell you keep your mouth shut, but they will tell you keep your mouth shut because you have not gotten the promotion. Am I saying facts, Brittany?
So in order to get what you want, or to get the promotion, to be able to scale up and to get better paid, etc., you have to sacrifice your well-being.
No, I don't believe that.
Well, hold on. That's the culture. Like you said, if you want this promotion, you're going to be a team player, quote unquote, and sit there and take it.
It depends.
Or ignore what you see, which is just as bad sometimes, right?
It depends on the organization. That's what.
Okay, well now let me break down the example of that. Institutional bullying, Mercy, happens when a workplace accepts, allows, and even encourages bullying to take place.
Yeah, but that comes off as like, I can think in salesman relationships where everybody has to get, let's say the goal is everyone gets a new client a day, right? And it's you come and ring the bell, every time you get a new client. And that looks like, I know the purpose is to create a bandwagon for everybody to want to ring the bell, but it could create an isolation. Right. And it really defeats the purpose of the team, the team itself raises the floor. Now, how you talk about raising the floor?
Where there's support, there's encouragement,
that's right.
There's positivity, as opposed to, I get to ring the bell, you didn't step up, you didn't accomplish your goal, you didn't meet the quota.
Now, how you help is you ring the bell. If it's an organization, let's say you have a group of salesmen, right? And you want them to ring the bell. How about the idea is you ring the bell and then you go back and check on your partner.
Support them.
Support. Hey, how you doing? How can I help you?
See, these kind of things need to be spoken about. And I think if you all are listening to this,
HR has to be a part of. It has to be a part of the moral, cultural ground of the company. Yeah. It has to be institutional. It can't. It will. Kindness will never. I will always believe this. Kindness in any institution will never be on accident. Kindness is never on accident.
I agree.
Kindness is intentional. So you have to put it a part of your policies.
That's why
you have to actually make it where people are appreciated and congratulated for kindness. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's why I don't like when people say random acts of kindness. No, kindness is always deliberate. I love what you said there, but at work, I think it'd be just as impactful.
And Brittany says, I don't think the sales is the same. Okay. She says it is culture. She says that she's thinking that the institutional bullying is a culture at many places.
Let me read the rest.
And I think she agreed with what I said, that it has to be, kindness has to be intentional. Go ahead.
See, I think the companies that really excel and do well long term, they don't look at they call it family, but they're really looking at the individual, the people that work there, as numbers.
I think the smartest company would be one to say team.
Right.
Family.
Right. A team culture.
Stop creating falsified narrative of families. Yeah. Just stop it. Unless you are going to take that family to a whole nother level. Right. Meaning, let's say if a family member of mine dies, take off. Do whatever you have to do. Come back when you're good. Right. That's what you do for family. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Hey, I need a raise because I've realized I'm not making enough and I can actually prove that I need more money. What do you do for family? If you can't give it to them, then you make a clear date when you can. That's what you do for family.
And I agree. And I think it's important for family. But I think on the other side, if the person is not doing what they need to do at the job, we work with them. We go over and beyond trying to find a fit for that individual in the right place where their skills and talents can be best utilized. as opposed to simply firing them and letting them go. That's what families do to support.
I agree.
That's another version of kindness.
I think, honestly, what Brittany just wrote is pretty true. So you'll see, and I don't want to say the word HR because it's not HR's fault, but you'll see companies do more for the highly paid individuals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, to support them.
To support them because it's too expensive to get somebody else, to train somebody else to do what you do. To hire a new person is expensive.
Sure.
It's not just the cost of bringing them on, it's the cost of training them up and getting them to understand the job.
Yeah.
So it's actually cheaper to
have the systems in place
and actually see if you can like remodel that person. You know, somebody did something stupid, put them on probation and kind of retrain them, take them through trainings. But she's right. But when people are on the lower pay scale, those are the ones that have the most emotional abuse. It's true.
It's hurtful. It's so hurtful.
I think of Walmart. I think that's what my heart goes out to people who are greeters and cashiers and waiters. They just take the butt of the bad of society. Because some people take, as Brittany has said as a bartender, some people take all their grievances out on whoever is the lowliest person that they can find. And sometimes it's the waiter. Sometimes it's the bartender.
Yeah. That
they can't take it out on their boss, right?
Yeah, as we wrap up,
this
is institutional bullying. Let me read it again, and we'll wrap up here. Institutional bullying happens when a workplace accepts, allows, and even encourages bullying to take place. This bullying might include unrealistic production goals, forced overtime.
Too many meetings. I'm sorry.
No, the meetings kind of without a purpose. They kind of spin and to kind of justify who has what role.
But go ahead.
So unrealistic production goals, forced overtime. This is what hurts me the most.
Now that one used to bother me at a certain company, and I was like, "What do you mean you can't write down your time? Your overtime. I can't say who.
Where. What do you mean?
They told the employees that you have to clock out and keep. They didn't say keep working, but it was like, at 4:30 you must clock out. I said, but are you still working? Are you going home? No. I said, then don't clock out.
Yeah.
And I had a big problem with that.
Yeah, it's unfair. And I think about how when I'm encouraging, part of my coaching and to help people.
It's unlawful.
Well,
it's against the law.
It's against the law, yeah. To help people be able to say no when it's time to leave. Your time, you got paid for your time, and it's time to go.
But it's hard, I'll say, when you're a lower paid person. I understand. I'll just say if you're a person that's a lower paid person and you feel like you don't have that say, I understand.
They have that agency.
You don't have that agency, but you actually do. Especially if you work at certain companies. Certain companies have unions. This is when you call your union and help and ask them to speak on your behalf.
Yeah.
She said truth here today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, unions can be good. And the purpose of them are to fight for the lowly employee. Unions are not for highly paid people. Come on, y'all. Unions are for those that are not highly paid, that want to continue their job, but they don't want to continue their job under duress. If people weren't putting people in duress, or people weren't under duress while they're trying to earn money to just sustain themselves, there would be no need for a union.
Yeah.
If we were just kind to our employees, there'd be no need for these laws. There'd be no for labor law. You know? Right. So I say, I'm going to ask you the question. Where's the fire? Where's the smoke? What's the smoke that we're blowing at? But where's the real fire in this conversation of bullying at work?
Well, bullying at work, I think the smoke that we see is the frustrated workers, Yeah, the workers and their frustration.
That's the smoke.
That's the smoke. But I think the fire is the culture.
Yes. And institutional.
Yeah, because it says institute where it accepts, allows, and even encourages bullying.
Yes, I agree.
You know, and when it's institutional, it's hard to put a finger on the individual or the place where it starts.
Here's
or
something.
Where it originated from.
Kudos to Pastor Nixon for taking a break. How many pastors do you see take? It's been there.
Well, see, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree with you.
You know where I'm coming from? Like a lot of institutions, I'm just thinking of the church at the moment, but a lot of institutions have these things where you're able to take them, but people don't use them.
That's the problem.
So that's
is that part of the culture too, that it's there institutionally, leave, etc. is there, but
I think it might be twofold. I think it might be that I've never been past it, but I can see some residual work to your bleed type stuff.
There's a kind of a pride.
You can talk more to that, but I think that's the old way of thinking, and I think these new pastors are like, bruh, I'm tired.
Yeah.
The Lord talked about a Selah, you know. I need to Selah, and so anytime I hear of a pastor taking a break, a leader taking an executive, any leader taking a break. Yeah. Do you know that's why some organizations actually have in there that certain positions have to vacation is built in no matter what vacation. Yeah, it's twofold. Yeah. One reason is,
or that's the place where you need to be. You need to work. You need to choose to work at those spaces. Certain jobs do have it, but I'm thinking about social workers. I'm thinking about therapists. I'm thinking, because
in certain financial positions, they make you for two reasons. They want you to take a break because we don't want you going crazy at work, and then two, most people who are stealing don't take breaks because they can't leave because they've been stealing. They don't want nobody to know what they've been doing, so. So if you work with somebody who's never been off for the last 4 years, watch that. Yeah.
Wow, I never thought about it. Because you deal with the money, so you. Yeah.
It's an audit thing. Yeah. So most auditors would look at who's never, but they never take a break. What do they do? Inventory. Where are the computers? Make them take a break while we come do this surprise audit.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, this is a phenomenal conversation. I'm glad I chose this one because we need to go deeper into this. So next week we're going to talk about workplace bullying part 2 and come up with.
And no, we're going to start right here. Yeah. Early warning signs, because instead of talking about it happening, let's talk about what we can do to recognize it coming our way.
Yeah. And if you're, and if you're in it right now, what to do about it.
Yeah, what's the fire? Like, how do I get out of this fire?
Yeah, because we can't control what the managers or the CEOs or whoever, what they do.
But I can control me.
Right, but we have to know what's in our reach and what's available to us. Right. So yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, so Britt, appreciate you hopping on. Your comments
and feedback
are awesome, and I think, but you know what? I got to remember. I got to make a note because I think we judge.
She went real deep. She said spiritual labor is too expensive to not take a break. Go on with your little bad self. Yeah, no, Brittany, you're very insightful. But what what I wanted to talk about was, as far as millennials, we got to come back to this. Oh, they be breaking.
but do they sense what we've been talking about?
Yes, and she's laughing.
Do they sense the workplace culture better than those that have been entrenched in it for years? Yes,
because they've seen their parents travail.
We got to talk about that next
week. Through duress.
Yeah, we got to talk about that next week.
So let's talk about that. That's a good
spot. You guys don't want to miss next week. We're going in because we're calling these things to the light. That's where, when we talk about where's the fire, we're bringing light to the areas that a lot of folks or a lot of whoever don't want to talk about.
How about we say early warning signs of workplace bullying and then say, let's call it this.
Bates, while you're talking,
wait a minute, hold on. Well, you write it. Listen. 10 things that Brittany's gonna fall out when she sees it. Here's this. 10 things that Gen Xers and Boomers can learn from millennials about avoiding workplace burnout, because they are not burning out. I need you to understand that, right? Burnout and bullying. They don't tolerate it. They're not dealing with it. They are out.
Can learn. Okay.
So 10 things.
But this not what we're going to be talking about. But
I think we should. Maybe what, the second one, the third one? But I think this is a part of it because
maybe this is part 3.
Maybe. Okay, fine.
Because we didn't finish. Fine.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll do, so how about we do this? We'll do warning signs. But I honestly think those warning signs will be things that we don't see millennials tolerate. That's what I'm saying. Do you catch what I mean? Do you catch what I'm saying? I think that, do you think I'm right a little bit?
Okay. All right.
I think those early warning signs is what millennials will not deal with. That's what I think. That's what my hunch is.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay.
I'm talking about on workplace bullying, Brittany. It's like y'all can see it coming to you before the older people can see it. Y'all aren't standing for it. Y'all like, peace. That's what I'm talking about, Britt.
So, all right. Okay, guys.
And actually, maybe we should ask her if she'd be willing to come on. Because how are we going to talk about millennials and not having millennials?
Yeah, no, I think that'll be great.
Yeah, let's see if she's available.
Okay. So you guys have a great evening. Hopefully you guys have an awesome week. Take care of yourselves. Prioritize. Show up for you first. And we will see you all next week. Sundays at 8 p.m. is Where's the Fire podcast with Tony and Ase.
I feel like there should be a celebration. Look, next week we'll talk about how many we've done. This is awesome.
This is good. We're finally getting consistent. But yeah. All right. See y'all next week. Have a great night.
Bye, guys. I want to have like a thing to say, like, stay away from the smoke.